Hello everyone, my name is Arwed. I do have the pleasure and the honor to conduct and to moderate this upcoming panel. Explosive growth in immersive entertainment is a very hot topic, and I'm privileged to say that we have three high caliber experts here on stage. Please give me a warm applause to welcome Basti, Camillo and Marcos. So these three gentlemen are enthusiastically living and breathing immersive entertainment from R&D, creative production, deployment, go-to-market, internationalization, and publishing. And we are well prepared for a deep dive. So before we kick in, let me give you one housewarming statement. If you are impatiently going to jump up to raise a question, please raise your arm. You get a mobile mic, and then you can instantly interact with us to have a much more vivid conversation here. So, having said this, I like to run down the following trailer just to give you a glance what we are speaking about. So, hope it works here. Okay, here we go.
Phones are not going to be the end of the line. We're not going to be here in the 2030s communicating and using computing devices that are exactly the same as what we have today. And someone has to build that and believe in it.
Meta invented a damn time machine. Hi, Nora. Daddy's calling from the future. I'm wearing these amazing AR glasses that you'll probably use when you grow up.
Over the next 10 years, the form factor is just going to keep on getting smaller and smaller, and eventually we're going to have what looks like normal-looking glasses.
You're looking at the culmination of decades of breakthrough inventions in nearly every field of computing. It's one of the hardest challenges the tech industry's ever attempted. See, Orion is a time machine. It'll let Meta live in the future as they build the next generation of AR experiences.
Alrighty, so this opens up our conversation, and what we gonna talk about is actually divided into three parts. We speak about tech, we speak about content, and we speak about experience, and the four of us have mutually agreed to focus on the experience to explain the explosive growth. And we could easily drop some numbers here, but we do have better people here at the conference, like those gentlemen from PricewaterhouseCoopers and others who have market data that are describing the explosive growth. For us, it's very simple. It's about the useful audience, the mass market, widespread VR adoption, and clearly, from a financial perspective, the big investments into the area of immersive entertainment in the booming market. But to easily kick in here, first and foremost, I'd like to quickly ask you to introduce yourself. Yeah, so why are you here? Yeah, what's your message? And then we kick into the world of immersive entertainment. So, Basti, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and showing your interest in immersive technologies. My name is Bastian. I'm part of the Meta throughout your daily life. And Orion is a great example. The highest technology, we call it the first true augmented reality glasses, which more or less combines years of research and development in one product. Every time I see someone using it and prototyping it, they're massively amazed. Because it shows what we can actually reach over the next couple of years. I can't disclose too much in terms of what's coming in terms of new devices. We are just heading into our new developer conference, Connect, that is going to happen in 2 weeks from now. So we're going to show some new exciting stuff. You should definitely take a look, but yeah. that's where we're heading.
Okay. And I mean, the both of you are jumping off to Long Beach and San Diego and San Francisco the upcoming week to get the latest from the studios and the labs. But could you quickly say a few words about the Ray-Ban meter that you're wearing here today, or the Oakley meter HSTN? I mean, from a consumer perspective, this is much more like some sunglasses with some super functionality, but definitely not a device to watch a full-length feature animation film. So how do you see the development from those VR sets to those smart glasses to the next generation that no one knows about yet?
Shall I?
Camillo?
Camillo, do you want?
I mean, you're on the forefront, right? Come on.
I think what we're going to experience in the next few years is that people understand that a glass or glasses are more than supercharging your vision, right? So it's getting more and more into our understanding that those things are going to enhance our daily lives. And with such glasses already, we see that this Meta Ray-Ban is the most sold sunglasses of the brand Ray-Ban in Europe. And they only just a few months ago opened up the AI feature. So now you can look at things and ask, how much is that? What's that? How long does it take to wait for this roller coaster ride? And I will get those answers. So those things become smart. And they're very affordable. For a design smart glasses, you pay 300-ish euros. So not much more than you would pay for a regular design sunglasses. And with these capabilities and the value they present, we will see that more and more people get used to the fact that to wear headsets or to wear tech on their face. And this is the one direction where Meta is coming from, and then there's the other one, that's the headset. So it helps our whole industry in terms that the people out there understand there's something new other than our smartphone.
Okay, I've put up this image here, which builds the bridge to you. I mean, you guys at Europa Park Rust, you are investing a lot of money, times, and teams in research and development, and clearly we envision those smart glasses with huge functionality and content. Could you give us some insight how you see this development from a tech perspective at this stage?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, representing Europa Park here and the theme park industry as the spearhead of, I would say, location-based entertainment, because we're facing so many daily visitors. Of course, discussing the form factor of the technology has always been a topic that's been around there. But to make this a very strong point here is, I would say that we're no longer in the phase of prototyping, because it's not that we are prototyping this kind of hardware, because the hardware is there. And as you mentioned it in the beginning, the hardware is there for 10 years now. So we're doing virtual reality, example given on roller coasters, just to give an example, for 10 years now. So we're no longer in the phase of prototyping. And my statement is that companies such as Meta, they are building the Autobahn, they are building the highways, but it is up to us, example given, such as Europa Park, we need to build the cars to ride on this motorway, on this Autobahn, right? Because the Autobahn itself doesn't take anyone from A to B. It's the cars. And we, and I'm speaking of content, obviously, we need to be the ones to provide the content that people want to do and want to try. We need to build the models, the cars, to ride on this motorway. And this is the experience that we made, and you can see some of the examples here. As a theme park, we're no longer seeing extended reality such as VR, MR, or AR just limited to roller coasters, but we're doing this in the air, we're doing this in roller coasters, we're doing this in location-based free roaming VR attractions, and we're even doing this underwater. What I mean with that is that I am really in favor of content that must be accessible to our audience. Maybe some of you know the Maya principle. The Maya principle says it has to be maximum advanced yet accepted. And this is the bottom line, and this is the key learning of what we learned in Germany's largest theme park in the last 10 years, that the first roller coaster that we equipped with virtual reality glasses, you can make a guess. It was not the highest and the fastest coaster out there, no. No, it was the coaster that was most known to the people. Because our success in bringing people into headsets, simply put, was give them something that they know, which was a roller coaster that was already 30 years old, and leading them to something that they do not yet know, which is virtual reality on roller coasters. And ever since, we're trying this in different formats, and yeah, hopefully we're doing this with success.
Alrighty. So let's take it from there and look specifically into the experience, which is actually driving the exponential or the explosive growth in the years to come. So, I mean, beyond VR gaming that everyone is aware about, and cultural and educational experiences, beyond virtual tourism and scientific, medical, healthcare applications. I mean, if we are specifically looking into entertainment, what are the big challenges in terms of those experiences in roller coasters, on big cruise ships, in-flight entertainment, all those areas which are given today, realistically, and not in the future? Camillo, would you like to dive into that?
Well, I rather not talk too much about challenges or the downsides, right? There are always challenges. But the question is, what are the values? And what this technology offers is a true sense of presence. And when you reach a level of presence, you really create an additional value. And give me one or two examples. Imagine you're sitting on an airplane, cave for 6-10 hours for long-haul flight, and you are presented a headset. You put it on, and then you can enter an NBA game. But you don't watch it like you usually watch it. You sit courtside. So you sit in the first row of an NBA court. You see the big guys playing in front of you as you would be there, with a sense of depth, with a spatial sense there.
Let me interrupt you while you're talking. I would like to display this trailer here that gives us some insights about the extension of real sports to virtual sports.
Exactly. So why is that a good example? Because content-wise, you only need to set up the hardware once, right? And in case of NBA, they play 3 times a week. So the content is created 3 times a week, new content, and you can experience it in a way as if you would be in the stadium. So you could argue, but the atmosphere is not there, and I give you that, obviously, right? There is a little downside. But technology is advancing. And I was at the CES in Las Vegas, and I saw an example where I saw a play field of the NBA, which should be in there somewhere as well. And you could look at the NBA court, and you saw these little players, and you saw them live playing basketball. I could tap on the play field, and then it beamed me into the live experience. So I saw Steve Curry dribbling next to me. I look up to him. So in terms of experience, that is even greater than what I have when I sit at the stadium, right? So I could imagine watching a football game, then Ronaldo gets a penalty, and I've been asked to click the button, buy a €5 ticket to stand next to him at the penalty spot, right? And experiences what it is to be like down there, right? In a FIFA World Cup. So we can add, in terms of value, experiences that are beyond. And when I look at you guys have cinemas, and when we talk about experiences, right? I mean, imagine what's possible. You sit in a cinema, and now you have a certain depth, right? So you can, it feels more real. Apple introduced that as spatial videos and spatial images. So, and it's really amazing what it does to you. But now imagine also, as in a 3D film, things come out, but they come out in a quality and in a spatial understanding that is beyond what you experience. So imagine you watch Singing in the Rain, right? And it starts to rain, but it starts to rain in your cinema. So the water splashes on your chair, on the ground. So it's truly immersive. And the sense of presence, of the story, of the experience is so much larger.
So looking at the both of you, so are you envisioning 70,000 people sitting in such a stadium with those VR glasses?
That's a perfect example. Recently we had the DFB Pokal. I'm not sure how to translate that in English, but everybody who knows it, Cup, knows the German word of it. So it's always in Berlin. The stadium fits around 70,000 seats, but they let you apply for it, and then by lottery you get a ticket or not, right? This year alone, there were 4 million people applying for a seat. Only 70,000 were allowed in the stadium. Now imagine what's possible by offering 3,930,000 people an experience for, let's say, €50. You get the headset sent home, click on, and you sit in the stadium, right? And then imagine you have those features I just described, jumped on the field, get different perspectives. So the economical, because we always talk about hardware, which needs to be smaller and affordable. We talk about content, which needs to be immersive and cool. But there needs obviously also to be an economical value, right? So you need to earn money or return on investment. And that's possible, right? So imagine this number multiplied by 20 for €50, what you can do with that, and what you can do in terms of advertising, personalized advertising, and stuff like this. So yeah, I imagine that. Not that the people here have the glasses, but for everyone who cannot be in the stadium.
Okay. Markus, at MACK 1 and Europa Park, you're running your own VR labs. And yeah, actually you were celebrating with the entire corporation the 50th anniversary of the group, and this full-length feature animation film has been released. So how do you see the content side of it in terms of extending your brand messaging and the experience outside the theme park itself?
Yeah, I would say that for the MACK group of companies, this is among the biggest challenges in the upcoming years, because what we have been doing very successfully in the last 50 years was running a theme park, right? But at some point, of course, we want to grow further and beyond the limits of this theme park, and that's why we're trying to bring our IP not only to cinemas, but we want to bring our IP to people's homes, right? And immersive content can help us there, because from a theme park's perspective, if we do immersive, it either has to solve a problem or it has to bring an added value to our guests. And by using immersive technologies, we can, first and foremost, as location-based entertainment, we need to give people a reason to sit in their car or train or bus and travel for hours to come to our place and then pay 70, 80-ish euros entrance fee. So we need to give them a reason to do that, right? And the reason why we are using immersive is because we want to create experiences that are not possible at home. So what we're actually doing is not at-home entertainment in terms of location-based entertainment.
So you speak about the water falling from the wall at the movie theater?
Exactly. So we're trying to achieve things that are not possible at your home. And we're doing everything. That's why we're building roller coasters. That's why we're building all these kind of attractions. And by adding immersive technologies to those existing attractions, at the end of the day, it becomes a very solid business case, because it allows us that we offer our clients, our guests, something new to experience, because this is what they expect from us. And that's why we have so many recurring visitors, because you do not only experience the roller coaster that you're experiencing for 30 years, but since we're adding immersive experiences to those existing attractions, we can offer you something different. Even if you are actually riding this very same roller coaster, we can give you a new and a different experience every single time. And Of course, as you're mentioning, this is among our biggest challenges in the future. Just naming the cinema movie as one example is to try to make a connection between the two visits when people visit Europa Park. This is our biggest challenge. So how do we keep our guests, how do we keep the people engaged with the brand Europa Park between two visits? This is our biggest challenge. And that's why we're doing cinema movies, etc. Yeah.
And I think at this stage it's worth to be mentioned that Europa Park Rust is not just a German park or next to Disneyland Paris a park. I mean, you guys are working with Disney and Warner and Universal and all those groups on new technologies. If we're taking this conversation from the theme park and outside the theaters and the cruise ships back to the mass audience, yeah. I would like to look at you, Basti. Again, those super fashionable Ray-Bans and Oakleys, I mean, they are just opening up a new evolution that is just in the early stage of beginning. Could you dare to say something about what's coming next? Because at the very end, tech comes, content follows, and experience makes it a big thing, right?
Yeah, I can't talk about what's coming. I think it's pretty obvious. Orion shows the way forward. The big question is what comes after the smartphone. We believe that Orion is the answer. We want to give you back your field of vision. We want to change your behavior from that to that. Having a headset, having glasses on, being able to communicate with each other, eye to eye, without people just looking down at their mobile phone. And in the end, I don't know, can you raise your hand? Have you ever tried Meta Ray-Ban? Who of you has ever tried it? Not that many people. It's one of the biggest issues we have in the industry. We need to put more people into those devices, not only those devices, but also those devices. The moment you put it on, that's a magical moment. That's the wow moment where everyone says, okay, I understand why this is such an important technology. In the end, what the Meta Ray-Ban do is they combine a beautiful form factor with an AI that you can take on your daily basis, right? You can communicate with this device. You can reach out to an AI that helps you with your daily tasks. You can take pictures. You can take videos. It makes it an everyday device built in a form factor of sunglasses that are not even that much more expensive than your current sunglasses. And for me, it's very much, it's maybe not a bridge solution, it's a very dedicated category of devices, we call that wearables. But, I mean, the next evolutionary step, without disclosing anything, will probably be that there will be a smaller display in this kind of devices, right? And then in the next years, there will be a little bit bigger display in those devices. And a couple of years, we're probably going to have something like Orion. And then you're able to enjoy and consume immersive content wherever you are. Your virtual cinema screen in front of you, right? We're going way beyond entertainment. We're talking about wellness applications. We're talking about gaming applications indeed, but not only at home, but on your travel journey. Wherever you go, it will be part of your daily life.
But so the good thing is I can answer a little differently because I'm not working for Meta. And he said most important is putting people into a headset, right? And now we saw a collaboration between Meta and James Cameron. So someone who is familiar to the entertainment industry.
Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. So we understand what Meta is looking for and that they detect the entertainment sector as something important to put people into a headset, right? And they believe that immersive experience such as cinema experience are the next, or one of the next big things. So it's very likely that we see something that will enhance that use case in the future, and that you guys working on immersive cinemas, the next thing after 4D cinemas, are going to happen and introduce the next story of entertainment to us. Yeah.
At this point, I like to drop some numbers. I mean, PricewaterhouseCoopers is better equipped for those market reports explaining those curved future outlooks. But I mean, if we are putting our eyeballs to James Cameron, I mean, he's in line next to Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and his super blockbuster AAA movies were grossing more than 1.5 billion in overall revenue. And if we envision that by 2029, Avatar 4 is getting into the theaters, and this is a 360-degree franchise that will be rolled out globally, you can envision that if the tech side is ready for whatever kind of content publishing, this will be massive. So I highly respect that you are so retentive, Basti, in saying that there is something in the labs, but the big numbers that Meta and the other US companies is pumping into this area are self-explaining if you're looking into what's coming next, if you're looking to Academy Award producers such as James Cameron. Anyhow, I like to ask you, is there something that is not at Google at this stage, or how do you see this?
There's always something. And yeah, I think we are full of surprises when it comes to those kind of partnerships. Yeah, there's a reason why we are investing massively into entertainment. We believe it will shape the future content slave of the content you're actually going to consume, right? Not everyone is going to buy this stuff because of games. They're probably going to buy this stuff because they can now have a private cinema with them every time, wherever they go. The partnership with James Cameron and the Lightstorm team is just, I think it's a brilliant move. James Cameron is the GOAT when it comes to 3D movie making. I actually had a chance to visit him and his team in LA. They have a dedicated museum, and it's just brilliant. Like, what they have invested over the last decades into 3D movie creation, it's just like the technology itself they have developed, underwater filming 3D movies. How insane is that, right? The overall idea with the partnership between Meta and James Cameron is that we want to bring that technology of how to create those movies, capture movies, produce those movies cheaper. We want to bring that technology to more agencies, to more creators out there, so that there will be more immersive content in the future that you can consume via immersive technologies. And yeah, maybe in the future there will be movies that are exclusively streamed and shown for the first time on virtual and mixed reality headsets, right? That's a future that's probably coming, which is super exciting. But I think the most important thing is this partnership is all about enabling more creators to build 3D content that is more affordable, and then by that can be accessible to even more people at a lower price.
Marcus?
Yeah, and maybe in addition to that, because it fits perfectly to the learnings that we made in the theme park industry, is with full respect to Mr. Cameron and whatever he's doing, it is important, again, and I can only underline that, to offer accessible content. And what I mean with that is, again, in the best meaning of what that word means, he's mainstream. So what he's producing is content for the masses. And because, for example, if we take a look at what is being presented in Cannes or in Annecy, those are mostly artsy experiences. And I'm not saying that art is not important. I mean, it's the contrary. It's very important for inspiration. But if you want to reach a critical mass, and if you want to create a mass adoption, you have to provide content that is accessible to the masses. And this is exactly what shows in the theme park industry, but I think that this can be adapted to the general home entertainment branch as well.
And it's very different to 2D movie content, right? 3D movie content is so different, especially when you enjoy it in headset. And you've seen the sports video. You couldn't even really grab it, capture it. You need to have the headset on in order to experience it. But yeah, that kind of technology is going to be a future standard for content consumption. There are already cinemas out there that actually allow you to put on a headset and watch a movie fully immersively. So that's exciting, an exciting trend that we're seeing, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see more people in headsets, whatever form factor those headsets have.
Gentlemen, we have 2 minutes to go. So my question to the audience is there anyone who likes to raise a question right away? on this topic? Say it.
Hi. I'm interested in the more senses we have, in the way we have haptic and smelling. So I create my own brand, and I'm going frequently into the metaverse. I'm explaining to my customers, or Web2 customers still. Yeah, we will meet in the metaverse. We can have our individual experience and identity. We can wear whatever we want. And we can avoid shipping things through the world. We can have a showroom there. And then they ask me, okay, can we touch it then? Or the food industry, can we smell it then?
So what's your question?
Yeah, that's my question. Do you have something in plan where we can have that smelling and that touching? I mean, I joined also wine tastings in Metaverse, and they send it around, and then everyone has their own wine tasting sets. But when you speak from experience, this is a really important thing.
Camillo.
Well, obviously, that's really the North Star, right? But by our experience, if we talk about optic, tangible qualities, so if you see something in a quality and a fidelity that is so real, you loosen the interest of touching it because it's already satisfied by your visual sense. So if you look at something that you know, a nice burger, a nice new car, and with the nicest and best materials, most what we figured out, you lose the desire to actually touch it because it's already answered. You say, ah, yeah, that's leather, I know. So if you reach that level, and we are there now, you can reduce that. In the long term, obviously, there will be someday some extra haptical things. Who does it amazing is Europapark. Let me give me one example. So you do have an experience where you go into a cave, fully virtual. You grab a stick with fire, fackel. What's it? Fackel?
Yeah, right.
No, right. Okay. So and it's actually
Torch.
Thank you. And the first one is actually with a little heater attached, right? So you feel the heat. Then you go to another room virtually. You grab again a stick. And this time it's really not just a stick, but you feel the heat. So your brain is tricked so good, so fast. And so those guys, they're working from two sides to give you an impression that is so realistic that your brain is truly tricked. And you saw this little car where people sat in, and that was actually, I was experiencing that. It just doesn't do anything else than just this, right? But I was screaming. So I took the headset off after 5 minutes or so because I was so afraid. It was an experience where you slide down a hill and
you go to hell, basically.
I'm afraid with roller coasters, so I was, and then I put it off and I was what? And I just do this. So I was imagining. I really had the feeling of jumping. So I got this feeling in the stomach, and actually it didn't do anything. It just did this. And I think that is something where those guys are fine-tuning and tweaking it to a level you don't have to worry about that.
So a final word, immersive entertainment is driving you speechless and breathless. Yeah, thank you for that hint. We are out of time. Thank you everyone for joining this panel. If you got questions, we're here. Let's get connected. Thank you everyone. It's